Welcome to another episode of Love Living Local 315. We are your hosts, Scott and Kelly Greats, and today's guest has a New York City roots and was Utica University's standout basketball player. He's turned his love for basketball and storytelling into a rising voice in podcasting. Co-host of Not Even D2, Neruda Perdomo, I love that name, is here, bringing real stories, real energy, and a perspective you don't want to miss. Welcome, Neruda.
Thank you for having me. Obviously been behind the scenes a little bit, but definitely appreciate you guys having me. I'm excited.
Absolutely. So for those that don't know, Neruda just graduated from Utica University. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Majoring in
communications and media.
Yeah. All right. I'm a fellow communication grad.
All right,
I did nothing with it. Well, I guess I am now.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, for sure. Putting it to use.
I wanted to be a sports reporter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm old. I wanted to write for a newspaper. and the newspaper I wanted to write for had an offer. It was like $7 an hour, and we had what's that stuff that we debt,
Credit card debt,
and student
you weren't
loans.
very smart about that in college.
So I ended up going into sales. But so you came from Manhattan and Brooklyn roots. Stopped in Exeter. That's New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Utica. So what part of the path made you the storyteller you are now?
I feel like all those different paths, right? Because they're all all those places are all unique in their own way. Like Manhattan and Brooklyn are very distinct. Like they're two different boroughs and they have their own vibes to them. And then when you think about me moving to New Hampshire's a completely different lifestyle change up than New York. So I would say all those places in a way have kind of helped me, tell stories and have a different perspective.
So Utica found you through basketball.
Yeah.
What made you realize this place could become more than just a roster spot for you?
I think it was my first my first year here, because obviously I recruited to play basketball. I'm meeting a lot of my teammates, but then I go out into the town or city of Utica rather and meet a lot of great people, made a lot of close friendships on campus. I did play basketball there and it was fun, but this year I didn't because I didn't have any more years of eligibility, and it became one of my favorite years because I was so tapped in with the community and so a lot closer to my friends I felt and had a lot more time for myself.
One of our son's friends plays football, and he absolutely loves how tight-knit the sports teams are. They're like brothers. They do everything together. Was that your same experience with basketball?
100%. Just because at Utica, I think we'll talk about it later. We won a lot of games, so obviously that helps. But when you're playing sports, you're around each other for pretty much for 8 to 10 months out the year, whether it be workouts, games, travel. So all that kind of adds into it. Obviously, you have to have the right, characters in the locker room, and you don't want too big of egos, but definitely made a lot of close friendships at Utica, playing sports.
It's like a job. I mean, even at the D3 level.
100%.
What goes into it that people don't see?
I think just the preseason work, in Division III, you don't. So in Division I, Division II, right, you go back in the summers and train with the coaches. But in Division III, what you want to make out of your career is mostly up to you. How much work that you actually want to put in, how much work that the coaching staff puts into it, that's all up to them. At Utica, Coach Coffey runs a really tight ship. We have, in preseason, it's 5 days a week of workouts. So Friday, 6 a.m., we have Sunday workouts when, on Saturday nights, we were talking about it, Saturday nights when all college kids are going out, Utica basketball team is going, coming in the next day and working out and getting that stuff out of our system. So it definitely is a job, but I think it creates a discipline and routines as well too.
For sure.
So you've turned your love for basketball into a podcast, Not Even D2. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So it was, that's been a fun experience, honestly. Obviously, I'm in the podcasting world too, like you guys. But the podcast really started because obviously I'm a communications and media major, and I started doing WPNR on campus, which is the local radio station. So I just had a love for, I like being on air, and just with the radio station, I love playing music and stuff, but I was really just doing community events or community announcements rather. So I was hey, I want to talk about sports. I love sports, obviously. So how can I do that? What's an avenue I could, go down? How can I create my own show? What can I do? And I saw that, someone I was playing against in the Empire 8, the conference that Utica's in, he had started his own podcast called Not Even D2, and he interviewed, one of my former teammates, Darius Hopkins, who also went to Utica, like I said, former teammate. And when I saw the idea of Not Even D2, I was like, this is really cool. He's interviewing mostly Division III athletes. He's also talking about sports too. And I felt like I had a lot of connections in the basketball world, and I felt like I could be a good addition, a plus addition to the podcast. So I hit up KJ, and we just kind of talked about what it could be. And that was kind of the idea behind it, right? I just want to talk about sports, also interview Division III athletes, because that you don't really see a lot of that. So that was kind of my avenue.
So I shouldn't say obviously. I'll clarify. So Not Even D2 is probably a play on like you're just a D3 athlete.
Yeah.
Okay. But you've gone beyond that. You've had some pretty big name guests now, right?
Yeah.
Right up to the professional level. So talk about the evolution and how it's grown.
100%. So it started out, like I said, my boy KJ Allison, that he's the one who started it. He interviewed, like I said, Darius Hopkins, and it started as just interviewing Division III athletes. So, and coaches as well. Mm-hmm. So we, would hit up, some of the top players in Division III or top coaches in Division III, and just get the insights to excellence, right? Get the insight into, what makes them who they are and how they got to the top. But then, as we continued with it and developed the podcast, we wanted to branch out and start doing more and start interviewing, higher levels, Division II, Division I, and obviously like NBA. And that's kind of what it started at. So we, we're still relatively small, I'd say. Like we still, we interviewed an NBA player, we interviewed some really good mid-major coaches, but I think we're finding our way and really just, we're finding our way, and we're starting to build a name for ourselves in that Division I realm, because, D3, we've done a lot in Division III, but I feel like we want to grow more.
So how do you prepare differently for like those big name guests versus like, it's gotta be like stressful, right? And you must get nervous. Yeah.
100%. When we just interviewed, I don't know how familiar you guys are with college basketball, but Travis Steele, he was the head coach of Miami, Ohio. They went undefeated this year in the regular season. They ended up losing the conference tournament, but he was on CBS Sports. He was on ESPN. Mm-hmm. Like, it was kind of crazy when I reached out to their sports information director at Miami, Ohio, and I didn't expect to get an email back from him. And he was like, "Yeah, Coach Steele is available. We'd love to make something happen." And we ended up interviewing him, and it was great. But at the start, I was nervous. I was like, "Dang, this guy, he's been interviewed on all the top platforms, and now he's on our platform."
Yeah,
that's a sense of pride. And I'm like, okay, I gotta handle this the right way and handle myself professionally. So,
well, congratulations on that. That's exciting.
Thank you.
Yeah. And the more you communicate with people, mm-hmm. and people at higher levels, you truly do realize they're really no different.
100%.
Yeah, I mean their approach and their attitude and their success obviously is a little bit different than but on a human level, you don't get to that place without just being a good person, right?
100%. Like you asked me earlier, how does it feel to interview? Like how does it feel to interview high profile guests? And we interviewed Duncan Robinson, who's a player for the Pistons right now. They just advanced to the second round of the NBA playoffs, and he's from New Hampshire, and I've been around him for a long time, and he's kind of grown into a friend. But even him, it's like when I was in front of him, I was like, dang, like, you're in the NBA, man. Like, you play in the NBA finals. Like, I watched you with all my friends, like, on ESPN. Like, it was still nerve-wracking, but I feel like I'm getting better at it,
Absolutely. You got to put in the reps.
Yeah, for sure.
Where is it going? What's the vision? What's the dream?
I think, for me at least, my goal is to be either in front of the camera as an on-air host or on-air, like, talent, or at least, like, a producer behind the scenes on, like, a top sports show. Like, my dream is to work in sports media. Any decision I'm making right now in my life is like geared towards that. Like, I really want to do it, and I feel like there's ways to do it and there's connections to be made. But that's the goal right now, honestly, for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that you, in the beginning of this, you probably questioned yourself.
100%.
But like, when did you feel like, okay, I actually belong in this space? Like, this is a fit for me. Was there like a moment where you're like, I'm good at this. This is going to work?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say That's a real good question. I don't know like a specific like interview, I'd say, but it just got to a point where I think when you get enough support on something, especially from like your loved ones, like obviously sometimes your loved ones are not gonna tell you when you know they don't like something or you're wrong or something like that. But my mom, my dad, they're tough critics. Even my friends around me, like they'll be honest when, you know, I could do better on something. And I was getting a lot of support from my community, you know, with the podcast. They're like, hey, like you got a good thing going, like keep it going. And that's what keeps me going. When I get support and people are telling me like, we love what you're doing, keep it up. Like that means I feel like in my head, like I'm doing something right. So I feel like that's the main thing for me. When I got just more and more support, I felt like more confidence in myself.
I'm comfortable.
Exactly.
I remember when Scott approached me with this idea of we're gonna start a podcast, and I mean he's used to talking in front of groups of people and training, and I'm like, what? Like I was so nervous those first couple of episodes. I'm like, I don't know what to say. I don't know, and it grows on you.
Yeah.
Sure.
If I can give you some life advice,
please.
You keep pushing yourself into those scary places, right? I mean, you already know what you can do. Push yourself into areas that you're not comfortable with and figure it out, and, you know that there's going to be bumps in the road. You know, we just, I signed Kelly up for, we're doing like opening remarks at a 9/11.
I forgot about this, but now you're bringing it up, and I'm having anxiety all over again.
Like 300 people in the room, and I said, "Well, we were asked to open it, like 5 to 7 minutes, nothing crazy." And she's like, "I don't do public speaking." I'm like, "Well, we got a few months to figure it out." But yeah, you know, I don't know if it's Will Smith who actually said it, but he became famous on a viral video for saying God placed all the best moments in your life on the other side of fear. And it's so true. Like, you know, when you see things that are a little bit scary and you're not sure, you got two choices. You know, you can go towards it or you can run away from it. And the more you run towards those things, the more success you'll have.
100%. Yeah. I definitely, obviously it's like a little bit of like, you know, you just graduated college, you're a little nervous about the next step, but I'm also walking in faith too. Like I do believe the right opportunity is going to come, and try not to be too fearful. But you're right though. It's I gotta take that step for whatever it is, you know.
All right, let's talk about something we don't talk about often. I'm going off script here.
All right.
But you know, the behind the scenes here, we got our man John Spina,
my guy,
working behind the camera. Every once in a while we pull him in. But what did you learn working with Jay and being kind of behind the scenes this semester with the Love Living Local Network?
Man, I feel like what did I not learn? You know, like I learned a lot of stuff from John, you know, just being in here, talking to him, like having his number on speed dial, felt like texting him whenever. But I have a lot of appreciation for John because, you know, obviously I was doing Not Even D2, and yeah, I do love sports, and yeah, that's a big part of who I am. But being with you guys that love living local and like editing content, it was the first time I edited content that was outside the realm of sports, or being in a venue, like sitting in on podcasts that was not about sports. Just to do that and try to, you know, in an editing aspect, try to make engaging content that's not about sports, like that was a challenge for me, but I enjoyed it. But also being here with y'all, like seeing you guys work in your space, you guys are professional, come in and interview the guests, do a great job of doing that. So I'm picking up stuff from my own podcast too. But just that aspect, I got a lot of appreciation for John over, but you know, I'm gonna get a camera soon. So John taught me a lot about cameras, and he gave me advice with that. He gave me a lot of advice on my own career and, you know, maybe next steps I should consider, you know, content ideas I should consider. Like I said, I learned a lot from John, just text, phone calls. That's like I said, that's my guy for sure.
Yeah, and it's all about storytelling.
100%.
You know, and so how do you feel like your background being from so many different places, do you think that helps you to become a better storyteller?
Oh yeah, like
with all the experiences and
100%. Like New York City's a wild place. So just like that itself, like I've had a lot of stories with that. You know, I have a really big family as well, like a lot of characters in my family. So like them too. So definitely, I would say the biggest, like New York City definitely impacts me the most, just in terms of like what I've seen. Just so many different things I can point to when it comes to like when I think of New York City or how much it's fueled my perspective.
And it's just so great that like you've been in all of these different environments, and I think that will allow you to relate better to the people that you're interviewing. Whereas somebody that's just, Utica's great, and if you're born and raised here, but you've never been in a bigger city, it's hard to have those conversations and be able to relate to a lot of people that probably are from bigger cities that are in the space, that you're interviewing basketball for sure.
100%. I think like when you interview someone, I feel like it's a lot about like meeting them where they're at. And I think where I'm still like experiencing life, I feel like there's a lot of things I haven't experienced. I talk about, my perspective, but I feel like everything like where I've been or where I've moved to has allowed me to meet people where they're at, it helps me communicate better, I feel.
One cool thing about bigger city New York, the Mecca in many ways, it allows you to realize what's possible, right? I mean, like truly like big dreams, and it's one of the places people go, to try to launch whatever it is they're pursuing.
100%.
So you talk about, and I love this, you say, don't let small-minded people limit you.
Just looking.
Where did that come from?
I would say my mom, because my mom, she's a journalist herself. She's like doing more freelance work now and doing more producing, like documentary work and stuff. But when she was younger, my mom had me in her 30s, and she was working for the New York Post at the time.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So she was on the news and all that, and my mom was going to events, meeting celebrities and stuff, and I viewed her as a rock star. She still is a rock star to me in her own way now, but like she was a rock star to me, and seeing her meeting all these people, like it showed me what's possible. Like you just said, like I don't know, just being around her, it made me feel like, all right, I could do it. I could really make this happen. And she puts fuel in me too. She tells me I can make it happen too. But I would say my mom, just how much she's accomplished in the space and in the media space, I got a lot of respect for her, and she showed me what I could do.
How difficult was her journey?
I mean,
where did she start?
She like I was telling you before the interview, she was born in Puerto Rico, so Spanish was her first language. So the fact that she's a journalist now is kind of crazy because she spoke a whole different language when she was born. But it was definitely challenging. She's a woman in the industry. It was 80s and 90s when she was coming up, so it was difficult. But she made her way. She's a very fierce and like passionate woman, and like she's somebody that you can't tell her no. Honestly, that influences me a lot too.
Awesome.
She just has that drive.
She made her way, to the top, right? In many ways in the New York media. I don't know if there's a more difficult,
What other paper you can buy the New York Post here? Like anywhere.
I mean, it's you have to be fierce. So that's awesome that you got to she got to model that for you, and now you got big shoes to fill.
I'm trying. I got to give a shout out to my dad too. Honestly, like my dad, like he's a poet. And my dad is distinguished in his world too. Like in the poet world, he has a lot of people that respect him. They've both written books, but my dad has written like poetry books and stuff like that. So I would say my dad too he's shown me like the responsibility I got to carry as a young man. I think, like taking care of business. He gives me advice. Like I don't know. Like I remember one time, like I think I had to get my license renewed or something like that, and I totally forgot about it. And when I came home, it was like just an envelope on the dinner table or something like that. And I opened it up. I was like, "It's my license or whatever." It was something like that. And my dad was like, "Yeah, I took care of that for you." I was like, "Oh, thank you, Dad." And he was like, "Yeah, just make sure when you have kids, like you take care of this stuff for them. They're on top of it. Like do all these things." So I would say in that aspect, my dad kind of helped me out too.
So you graduated from Utica.
Yes.
If the right job doesn't land, you're considering Iona University for your master's?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want to get my master's in sports communication at Iona University. I'm going to be applying there, and I feel really good about it. So
well, good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck.
So we talked off camera about our family situation.
Yeah.
We've got a son who's graduating, and he's not quite sure, right? Which I think is normal. I wasn't quite sure for. I'm still
time.
not quite
yeah,
sure.
He still doesn't know what he wants to be when he grows up.
Which I've become very comfortable with.
Yeah.
But I guess what does success actually look like for you right now? Not the end goal, but like today, present moment, just fresh off graduation, like what is success right now?
I want to make sure I keep doing what I love at the end of the day. Obviously, I want to be compensated for it eventually.
Yeah.
Which that would be cool, but just keep doing what I love, keep making sure I'm passionate about it. I think that's success for me. And I think, I don't know, like I said, I'm going to Iona and I'm going to be, going to school, maybe going to Iona and, going to school there and stuff and pursuing that. So we'll see what jobs look like. But, as long as I'm happy with what I'm doing, I think that's success. I think that's success for me.
Great
honestly.
mindset.
This generation has got a totally awesome perspective on that they realize that it's not just a job. Like you have to enjoy it. It's your life because you have to work in order to pay for things. And so that's the other thing that, we talk to, our kids about is like, yes, you need to get a job, but it should be something you enjoy doing every day. You shouldn't wake up in the morning and be like, oh my God, I got to go to work.
100%.
Like, I know sometimes you're not like, yay, I need to go to work. But once you get there, you're pretty happy with doing what you're doing. So I wish you a lot of luck with that.
Yeah, experience
Thank you.
over money. And I know,
Yes.
money's important, but it seems like your generation consistently is all about making an
Quality of
impact
life.
and doing what you love. And, so are you in a position, I know you're still kind of at school, pursuing school, but are you in the mindset of do what you love, chase your passion, build your resume and the experiences and the money will follow versus making money decisions now?
I think it's like a little bit of both. Like I gotta be smart. Like for example, like I wanted a dog badly. Like after I graduated, like I made a promise with my dad. Like yo, I've been wanting a dog since I was a kid. I want to get one after grad. Blah blah blah. But then I started thinking about it. I'm like yo, like I'm about to move down to the city. Probably like I'm about to get a job. I don't know if I have the right funds to take care of a dog right now, and I want to give the dog a great life. Yeah. And obviously that's like a small example, but like
that's a big example. Seriously.
But those are the choices that like I'm trying to make. But like obviously like grad school, like that's gonna be an investment that I got to think about. But I don't know. I like I said, I'm walking in faith right now. I'm walking in faith for sure.
So if someone listens to your podcast, what's your hope? What do you want them to feel when it's over?
I just want them to be a little bit more informed about maybe the person that we're interviewing. Maybe get a different side of them that they didn't hear on, Travis Steele's case, ESPN, CBS Sports, something that they're not hearing on those platforms, right? We're asking questions that, he really has to think about, or, he's like, damn, I never got asked that before. Maybe, maybe he has been asked that, but it's in a different way.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest takeaway. And also like to see our personalities too. I think KJ and I have very like infectious personalities. Like he's very funny. I feel like I'm funny. Like I have my own personality. He has his, and I just think it's a great combination. So hopefully, audiences can see that too.
What's who's the dream guest?
All right, so I'm a Knicks fan, so I'll say Jalen Brunson. Yeah. Jalen Brunson would be cool.
I went to bed at halftime last night, but he had like 37 at half.
27. He was
27.
balling.
Yeah.
He was balling. Brunson. I would say coach. I would go the Houston coach. Coach Kelvin Sampson. That's his name. Kelvin Sampson. Yeah.
Oh, University of Houston.
Yeah, University of Houston. Yeah.
Rockets. Yeah.
How have you enjoyed living in Utica?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And what makes it better? I'm not saying that it is better than New York City, but what are some things that you enjoyed about Utica that you don't get from a big city?
The price, number one.
For sure. That's no joke.
That's a big one.
Cost
That's one
of
of the
living.
reasons we came back.
For sure. So I would say that probably. I would say like the community for sure. Like I've talked about it. I met a lot of special people in Utica. I said this to one of my friends. Like I came into this school as like 18, 19-year-old kid. I'm 23 now. Like I'm a young man. So kind of developed here a lot of my young adulthood here. But I would say the community for sure. Just seeing, you see a lot of the same faces. Sometimes you go to the mall or you out on Varick Street, whatever it is. So I don't know. The people here are very special. Honestly, I'm gonna miss a lot of the folks that I met here. I'd say.
What are some of your favorite spots?
To eat or to just to go?
Anything
we
in
didn't
general.
cover food.
Out?
I mean, he says he's a foodie, so let's talk food.
I would say for food, I actually just tried Ocean Blue for the first time after grad, and that was I had a really good time there. Giorgio's Village Cafe is really good. If I have to tap into my Latino side, there's a spot on Bleecker, Herrera Sabor Latino. It's really good. It's like a little it's like in the cut. Like you probably drive by it and stuff like that, but it's a real good spot, real tasty food. So I would say for food spots, those are my go-tos. Just to like be around. This is gonna be so corny, but when I was going to Utica, obviously I love being in the gym, like shooting around and stuff like that. So that was one of my favorite places for sure. But I would say like walking around like behind campus, like behind the Utica University campus. I believe it's technically in New York Mills.
Okay.
But like just the campus itself, like those back streets like Kellogg, Matthews, Grandview, Old Burstone. Like I love like walking up and down like those streets and just going for a nice stroll, honestly. I would say those are probably my favorite spots. Utica Coffee, cool too, like to do work and stuff. Yeah. And obviously, this building too, being here with y'all. This was fun. This is fun to come in.
What surprised you? So, coming here fresh, 18 years old, like you probably had some thoughts and anticipations, but what surprised you when you got here?
Man, I mean, I came from boarding school. So we lived a very I feel like regimented would be the word, or like very strict lifestyle.
Structured.
Yeah, structured. So honestly, I was ready to just kind of like spread my wings when I came to college. And I feel like I did that first couple months of school. Like I was just having fun. Like I felt like for example, that first night or two I was here at Utica, like I was out past like 10 p.m. And in boarding school, if you out past 10 p.m., it's a no-go. So I was out past 10 p.m. and I'm walking around. I'm like, am I gonna get in trouble for walking around out here? Like, but nobody's stopping me. I'm doing whatever I really want to.
Really spread his wings, man. He was walking around at 10 p.m.
But
he made his way to New York Mills.
But I viewed that as but that was like kind of my eye-opening experience in a way, just having that freedom. And there's a whole nother layer of freedom that I feel like I was talking to my dad about that I'm about to get in this next chapter. So
all jokes aside, now I'm almost 50, but I vividly remember I went to St. John Fisher in Rochester, and with 2 hours from home, but that door of my dorm room shut in when my parents walked out, and I was sitting in the room by myself. Didn't even have like a poster on the wall yet. My roommates hadn't gotten there, and I was like, damn, like now what? Like I'm alone. It was like the first time ever, And so I do appreciate that, that story of just being walking around at 10 o'clock, like you're free.
That's all it was. And I called like one of my mentors, and I told him, because I had a mentor at KUA, and I called him. I was like, yeah, I was out past 10. Like I thought I was gonna get in trouble. And he was laughing about it. He was like, well, that's when maybe like, you shouldn't be out too late. Like that's kind of your sign in your head. I was like, you're right, but I'm in college now, mentor. I can't
the 6 a.m. gym sessions limit the...
Yes. I think that kind of makes your bedtime a
little early, right?
Yeah, for sure.
What's one project you haven't started, but deep down? You mentioned faith a few times, but what's something you just know you have in you that you're just waiting for the moment?
I'm glad you asked this. I want to get into like sports documentaries. So... Like, for example, a capstone project at Iona is like to make a documentary. So I've been connecting with a lot of different producers and stuff, just in the documentary space and learning more about it, like filmmaking. Like, for example, you guys watched the Lamar Odom documentary on Netflix?
I caught a part of it, but I didn't watch the whole thing.
We are a huge fan of documentaries.
I love documentaries.
We watch documentaries all the time.
I love like, even not sports documentaries, like regular documentaries I love. So the Lamar Odom doc, definitely recommend it. And then the Portland Trailblazers documentary, that's also on Netflix. Okay. So they're both under the Untold umbrella, which is like they had the Untold Johnny Manziel story. They had the Untold... Who's that? Was it Manti Te'o? Yeah, Manti Te'o. Yeah, I was literally thinking that. Yeah. So I connected with the lead producer for the Lamar Odom doc. His name is Freddie De La Vega. He owns Neat Edit, and I connected with him. We had like an hour conversation. And after the convo, like he offered to connect me with somebody from the Netflix team at Untold, one of the head producers over there. So that's like those are projects that I'm interested in like getting involved with, and I feel like that could be a passion of mine down the line, honestly.
I love it. I mean, everything you're doing is leading up to that.
Yeah.
The podcast is giving you the reps, right? It's telling someone's story.
It's storytelling.
Right? Allowing
for
them to tell
yeah.
the story and shaping it in a way that maybe they didn't even realize, was.
And finding those
possible.
little nuggets that people don't know about somebody.
Yes.
That's the awesome thing.
Cool. Now we can rapid fire.
Okay.
Rapid fire. Let's do it.
Okay. Best New York City lesson you brought to Utica.
I would say just like hustling, like just always hustling, always trying to find the next move for sure. Like just having that mindset.
I like that you said that because I think that us being from even New York State, we have a quickness to us that we want to get stuff done quickly.
100%.
Sometimes we go south and I'm just like, oh my God, it drives me crazy at the
crazy
grocery
over
store or
here.
any place that how slow people move. So
Island time.
yeah.
What's one Utica basketball memory you would love to replay?
So we won 2 conference championships during my time there. The second one was against Poly. No offense.
That's Spina's alma mater.
Yeah. But I actually got a lot of respect for the Poly program and the coach over there. He runs a great program. So nothing bad to say about them. And it was a great game. But I would say the first championship where we beat Nazareth College in 23-24 because that was my junior year, and the 2 years prior we had lost. And one time in the championship my freshman year, one time in the semifinal my sophomore year. My junior year, we dealt with injuries, but we made it happen and we won the championship. And that celebration after, like, one of the best nights of my life. Like, honestly, like, I remember that night, like, just being in the middle of it and just being like, I'll remember this for the rest of my life. Like, this is going to be a great moment.
Kelly and I, as mentioned, we both are St. John Fisher alums, and so it's my duty to congratulate you on beating Naz because Naz sucks.
That's definitely our rival. Yeah.
We already talked about his dream guest, so I'm going to switch this up a little bit. Professor or teacher you'd like to give a shout out to from Utica?
All right, so I'm going to do, can I give like a couple? Or,
Sure.
All right. So I want to say staff members first. Nate, TJ, Aisha. I don't know their last names, but they all worked in the Pioneer Cafe at Utica University, which you get burgers, fries, whatever. And, as a college student, you guys probably know it can get a little, rough money-wise sometimes. And every now and then, Nate, TJ, and Aisha, they made sure I was fed, I'll just say.
That's awesome.
So I would say them, they deserve a big shout out. And I hope they're able to see this. But then I would say Professor Paul MacArthur. I believe he's the department chair, but he really challenged me and made me a better student. I feel like I became a better writer this semester for how much writing I did with the internship class, because that was the class that I did my internship. Like, the fact that I did the internship, it was for a class at Utica. Okay. So he ran the class. So just doing writing every week with him and getting better at that. And then last one, Professor Doug Croft, he runs WPNR, and he gave me the first opportunity to hear myself on the radio, be on the audio boards. So I'll forever credit him for my beginning of my media career.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You got a great radio voice too.
Yeah,
Thank you.
do.
Appreciate you.
You sound really good on there. Let's switch it up again. We'll do it. This one will be rapid, but Utica's staples food wise, right? I know, it's kind of cliche, but the tomato pie, the greens, the chicken Riggies, kind of their thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which of the three is your go-to?
Riggies for sure.
Okay.
Riggies for sure. I would say I like Oskanits. Is that how you say it?
Oskanits.
Oskanits,
yeah.
Yeah.
I would say I like their pizza. I don't get it too often, but I would say their pizza. And then there's one more I want to add. I don't know if it's a Utica staple, but I can't find it anywhere else. I don't know if I'd want to try it anywhere else. The purple cow pizza at Slice.
Yeah.
That's. I feel like that's kind of a Utica. I don't want to say staple, but
It's unique.
We can make it one.
Area.
Yep,
Yeah,
for sure. I would say that's my go-to.
Okay,
too.
make that go viral. I mean, it would be a staple.
All right, rap track that gets you locked in.
I would say there's a song by Kendrick Lamar, Money Trees. Money Trees by Kendrick Lamar. It has a really good beat. Yeah, I like that song for sure.
I know that name.
Yeah,
I'm impressed with
put
myself.
it on the playlist.
Yeah,
We'll
okay.
run to it.
Yep.
That's good.
Puerto Rico or New York City for a weekend? Where are you going?
It depends on what I'm trying to do. I would say.
What kind of mood you're in?
Yeah, literally though. But I would say for a quick getaway, I would say New York. I would say New York because Puerto Rico, I feel like you got to be there for like more than 4 or 5 days to really like enjoy it, I think.
Yeah, that's not quick either.
Yeah, no.
Neruda Perdomo.
Yeah.
I love the name. I love your attitude. You carry yourself with a confidence and I guess a swag, but in a very just gentle way.
Yeah.
You're very approachable. Your head is where it needs to be. Your soul is where it needs to be, and I think you're gonna do some amazing things in the future, my friend.
Thank you. Just trying to make it happen. That's all.
Good luck.
Thank you.